Welcome to Talking Football on 1252 Sports Entertainment. Welcome back, everybody. It's Talking Football Week 12. I am one of your hosts, Fat Mike Chicago. Joining me today will be Angelo Ace Camacho, my guy right here, and also my guy. I don't even want to bring him on the screen. One, because he's not even on the fucking thing yet, Angelo. I'm looking at the screen here. He's not even there yet. It's just there he is. There's this shit stain. All right. But we got this fucking asshole joining us during our busiest week. Not our busiest week. It is a busy week, Angelo. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
today.
for sure.
But I didn't want to bring him on because, well, one, he's wearing a fucking head of cheese. Like, really. He's already wearing his head of cheese like an asshole. But it is Bears-Packer week, so we got to bring him on. So here we go.
Tyler has been waiting all season for this game.
Oh, shut the fuck up already. I'm already sick of this shit.
Tyler's been waiting all year for this game.
Fuck this guy. We're, out of here. There we go. We'll get him out of here real quick. All right. Peace, bitch. But no, bring him on back here. Tyler, we are ready. It is week 12. The Sunday night game is Bears-Packers. We are really excited about this game. I am a little bit. And we got some big news in the middle of the week, getting Mitch back. I don't know,
What are you excited for?
We'll explain later. Like we said, we always talk about this game last.
You're right.
But also joining us today around 9:45, we got our guy Erik Lambert joining us again. And that's going to be a big part with us going forward, guys. Erik's going to join us the remainder of the season on Talking Football here. Erik Lambert from Sports Mockery, writer, senior writer over there. Guy comes up with some awesome articles. But also comes up with stuff I don't know where the fuck he's coming. I don't know where he gets it from. All right, like there's times I want to yell at him.
That's what I like though about sports.
Right,
that's what I like about sports.
Enough to put it out there. He does have sources. He is a very good writer. I do like Erik a lot, and he's a great dude. But he's gonna, like I said, he's gonna be joining us the remainder of the year to talk the Bears games. So I'm really excited about that. Kind of get the ins and outs of what he's hearing around the NFL for our Chicago Bears. So on that note, guys, we had a rough week last week. Everybody had a rough week last week on the PICKEMs. It was a bad one. It was a bad one. I lost my ass in bets. Tyler's lock of the week was a fucking shit show. They're
calling it the flop.
You called it a lock.
We're calling it a flop. Okay, we're calling it a flop. A cheese flop. We're calling it's cheese flop. All right. So we got the cheese flop of the week. That's Tyler's bet. And then
y'all remember that challenge people were doing where they were just like throwing cheese on their kids' heads for a while there? That's what Tyler's bets were last week. It was just he's sitting there all excited and then fucking cheese back right in the face.
That was terrible.
That's how it's been for the past 3 weeks, man. I come into football all excited, get all my bets made, sit my ass down, and 20 minutes into the games, I'm already fucking depressed.
Now you know life as a Bears fan. Dude, life as a Bears fan.
I was riding hot on bets there for about a little over a month. And then just the last 2 weeks, I have just shit the bed both weeks. I'm hoping to have a nice bounce back week this week. I did win my 2 Thursday games, which was nice. I took the Texans -3, and I took the over in the Cowboys and the Cowboys Washington football team game. So I did hit both of those. And I got the Steelers -5.5 for Tuesday night now. That game has now been moved to Tuesday. But hopefully if that hits, I end up winning like $160 on a quick little bet. So we'll talk more about that though. Yeah. Let's get into week 11. These pick'ems were a shit show. Okay.
They were very bad.
Let's go over the breakdown really quick, Angelo, before we go over the actual records. Okay. Yeah. So week 11.
It started Arizona versus
Week 11 started real bad. All three of us took the Cardinals over Seattle, and Seattle won by a touchdown. It was 28-21. Seattle did look good, kind of bouncing back after dropping, I think, 2 straight, correct? I think. They don't lose 3 in a row. Pete Carroll came out, did his job. Kyler Murray got banged up a little bit in that game, but he's back this week. But, yeah, that was a good game. Good start of the week, to be honest with you. I like seeing good football games, and that's one thing that I'm looking forward to week 12 here. But we got a good slate of games this week, I think. And then after that, the Vikings. Let's see here. Let me go back here. The Steelers beat the shit out of the Jacksonville Jaguars 27-3. That game wasn't even fair. Jacksonville looks like a fucking team of the midgets, the football midget kids, like they have like the rankings, against the Steeler team. That wasn't fair.
I got a question for you. Who do you think would win? Jacksonville Jaguars or the Denver Broncos with no quarterback?
I got a question for you. Who do you think would win in a fight? A Navy SEAL, an actual SEAL, or the Singer SEAL?
The Singer.
The Singer SEAL?
Yeah. Dude, he would lull them. He would lull them into a false sense of security with his beautiful voice, and then strike.
I think I'm taking the Navy SEAL to beat the shit out of the SEAL and Navy.
I think I'd take the actual SEAL.
Yes, the actual SEAls are pretty mean too. So
all right, we have to make this work somehow. We have to find a SEAL, a Navy SEAL, and get SEAL, and we have to see who wins. It's the only fair.
Who wins enough? Yeah, I didn't. Well, we're getting off topic here. Let's continue.
Very much.
All right, like I said, the Steelers ended up knocking out the Jacksonville Jaguars 27-3. The Panthers shut out and blanked the Detroit Lions last week 20-0. The Lions team sucks, and we got news on that too. We'll talk about here in a little bit. The Texans upset the Patriots last week 27-20. We have the Titans beating the Ravens. The Ravens team just continues to be not that good of a team and very predictable on offense. So, I mean, Titans win that game 30-24. The Browns beat the Eagles 22-17. The Saints stomped all over the Dirty Birds of Atlanta 24-9. The Washington football team beat up on the Bengals with no Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is done for the year. My heart breaks for that man. All right. We got the Chargers beating the Jets 34-28.
What happened in that game? Chargers beat who?
The Jets.
Oh.
The goddamn Jets. But it's okay because the Jets covered for me. So that's what I needed to happen, and that happened. The Broncos beat the Dolphins, the Mile High City. The Dolphins can't breathe that high in the air, guys. That's why the Dolphins lost that game. They just can't breathe that high in the atmosphere. All right. And then we got the Cowboys beating the Vikings I thought the Vikings were going to go on a little baby run here. The Cowboys beat them 31-28 after the Vikings beat the Bears, which was a pretty slow and yawning matchup. The Vikings did lose to the Cowboys. And I don't know how anybody loses to the Cowboys because the Cowboys are fucking terrible.
That's true.
We got the Colts last week beating up the Cheeseheads 34-31. And Marquez Valdez-Scantling fumbling the ball in overtime sets up the Colts for a game-winning field goal. It was so good. It was so nice to see the Packers lose that way because that's exactly what the fuck happens to the Bears all the time. So, all right. And on that note, we got the Chiefs beating the Raiders 35-31, which was honestly my favorite game of the week last week. That was a very good game. Like I said, I like Carr. I like Waller. I like that Josh Jacobs. The kid's a stud. But they just fell short this time. They fell a little short in this game. And then we have the Rams on Monday night beating the Buccaneers 27-24. And that recaps our schedule from last week. Everybody moving forward here. Angelo, give us the breakdown on who's winning here. I mean, what the hell's going on here?
Your Pick'ems recap is brought to you by
Firehouse Subs
Sports
and Firehouse Subs. We're not going to play the little clip, but eat Firehouse Subs, guys, because they're great. All right, so who's in the lead here?
All right, so going into the week, Tyler was up quite a bit, but after a 4-10 week, Tyler has come back to the pack. No pun intended. Tyler was 4-10, Mike was 6-8, and I was 7-7. Bringing our grand totals to Tyler is sitting at 86, 58-1. I am at 84, 60-1. And Mike is 81, 63-1. So last week,
I'm 5 games back, baby.
Last week really helped basically both of us catch up, and now we're really within striking distance.
I don't think we caught up, Angela. I think he just fell behind. I think we just consistently stuck.
Don't give
a steady level of terribleness.
This guy any.
He just had an off week.
Don't give him any hope.
I think this is the first week that I didn't go over 500. It was a very bad week.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm glad that you shit the bed last week, and so we could catch up to you a little bit. All right, so let's recap what we did on Thursday here. On Thursday, we had our picks. It was supposed to be 3 games: Texans, Lions, Washington, and the Cowboys. and it was supposed to be the Steelers-Ravens. All three of us went with the Texans and the Washington football team to win. So we start the week 2-0, and that's awesome. I like this. Now we're getting to the nitty-gritty here, guys. Hopefully I can pick up some ground on you guys because I want to win. You know,
you gonna keep picking New York teams or what?
I'll pick New York teams to cover. Like I said, though, I got to make those strange ass picks. There was a big game that I won last week that you guys didn't pick. You guys picked the Bucks to beat the Rams, and I picked the Rams.
Yeah,
good win on me. I gained a game on that. I also, Angelo, picked the Colts over the Packers.
Yep.
Which was a good win for us. None of us picked the Cowboys and Vikings because I don't know. I think we just said fuck that game because that game was terrible. But nobody picked the Cowboys to win.
Fuck Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, he's bad. So on to some good news.
I mean, I don't know if that's fair to say.
Mike McCarthy sucks. He's terrible.
Oh,
he just finds ways to lose games. How do you? I mean, you lost. I don't know. That guy just finds way to lose games, man. He's bad. He's a bad head coach.
Yeah,
he has not adapted since he's won the Super Bowl, and I can tell you how enjoyable it is watching him coach the Cowboys and how terrible they are.
Although I will say this, Mike McCarthy, being a bad coach, is not the worst coach in football. I think the worst coach in football was just fired. One of the worst coaches in football was just fired yesterday by the Detroit Lions. They also released their GM. Fat Matt Patricia is now a free agent coach. You guys can take him. You guys can, whatever you want to do with that guy. That team is awful. They should have never fired their previous coach. Who was their previous coach? Help me out here.
It doesn't matter.
Jim Caldwell.
They're all bad.
Jim Caldwell. They should have never fired Jim Caldwell. Jim Caldwell was building an organization up there and starting to build a nice core group of individuals and a good group of teammates. And they fired him after going 8-8 or 7-9 or something like that. And they fired him.
2 straight 9-7 seasons he got fired.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah. So they fired Jim Caldwell, and they've been on a drastic decline ever since they brought Matt Patricia in. And it's finally there. It's finally there. I mean, when you think of Thanksgiving games, guys, automatically you think Detroit Lions, you think Dallas Cowboys. Those two teams are always going to play on Thanksgiving. Those two teams are expected to win on Thanksgiving. You know, they really are. They're expected to win on Thanksgiving. What I think now the Detroit Lions are 0-4 over the last 4 years on Thanksgiving. That's not good. The Dallas Cowboys, listen, the Dallas Cowboys, as bad as a coach I think Mike McCarthy is, that guy's been dealt a bad hand this year with a team that's not healthy. He really has been. Dak Prescott injured, breaking his fucking leg. Literally, his leg snapped like a twig. All right. You got an offensive tackle and a right guard going down with COVID stuff twice this year. You got 2 guards and 2 tackles going down with COVID. 1 guard sitting out the year due to COVID, didn't want to play. His O-line's completely depleted down there. All right. But you're talking about a team that's full of weapons. I don't think there's a better team in the NFL that's full of as many weapons as the Dallas Cowboys are when healthy. You got Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and Dak Prescott when healthy. That's a stud offense. I'd cut off my right fucking pinky to have that offense on the Bears. I really would. But, it is what it is. I don't think he's the worst coach in the NFL. The worst coach in the NFL, let's just throw this elephant in the room real quick, is fucking Adam Gase. We all believe this, right? I mean, Adam Gase couldn't coach himself out of a fucking wet paper bag.
I mean, he's going to be the next. He's going to be the next coach of the Lions. What do you mean?
Yeah, Matt. They're just going to swap coaches.
Yeah.
I don't think Adam Gase ever gets another job in the NFL after this year.
I don't think Adam Gase gets another job in his lifetime. It's going to be a struggle. Can you imagine putting that on your resume? I was the coach of the New York Jets when you're applying for McDonald's in fucking New Haven, New Jersey. They're going to be like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Forget about it. You're not hired here.
That's all. That's
all. Jets. Get them. You can't make a fucking burger.
Yeah, they probably fucking hate him out there too. He's got to get out of New York, New Jersey the second he's fired. He's got to fucking move across the country.
With his eyes, his fucking googly eyes.
That sucks too. I think that sucks. The Jets. Okay, as bad as the Jets are, as bad as they suck, they're not that bad of a team. Like they score.
They're pretty fucking bad.
No, they score points. I don't care. They can't do nothing else.
All right, let's get back on track here. We'll go over the quick round here. And then, so like I said, we both started off 2-0. There we go. Adam Gay sucks. Matt Patricia sucks. Mike McCarthy sucks. We've already squashed that. All right, so now going forward with today's games, we got a nice set of games here, guys. Let's make our picks real quick. Like I said, we do have Adam Lambert, not Adam Lambert. We got Erik Lambert coming on today's show. We don't have the lead singer of Queen coming on here, guys. I'm sorry, we don't have him on there.
How dare you?
American Idol winner.
American Idol winner. Let's not give him that much credit to be the lead singer of Queen.
Okay, real quick. Adam Lambert, that can sing. He can sing.
Yeah, okay. He's not Freddie Mercury.
No, he's not Freddie Mercury. Nobody's Freddie Mercury. But, okay, whatever.
Freddie Mercury isn't Freddie Mercury.
Moving on with today's games, the noon slate. I really like this noon slate, guys. I think it's going to be a good set of games today, and we're off. We have this. What are they? I want to call them San Diego. We have the Los Angeles Chargers going up to Buffalo to play the Bills. Tyler, we will let you start since you're the fucking dickhead cheesehead.
I got the Bills. Chargers just can't close out a game unless it's against the Jets. I don't think they stand a chance this week. I hope Herbert blows up again, but that defense can't stop a fucking nosebleed.
All right.
So, I have to go with the Bills.
Well, my fucking running back that's been sitting on my bench for 8 weeks now is finally back. Austin Eckler. I got the Chargers winning this one, baby. I got it like 28-19.
So this is the tough game for me. I don't like this game. I think this game can go either way. The Bills defense has not looked good as of recent. They have not scored as much points as of recent either. They started off real hot, and they've really cooled down. But in this game, I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills by a slight win. I think it's going to be I'm going to say 24-21 in this game. Well, that's how I like the Bills in this one. After that, we have the Titans and the Colts, which I think is the game of the week, in my opinion. I think this game has a lot riding on it for that division. The Colts coming off a big win against the Packers, and the Titans coming off a big win against who they played last week. They played the Ravens, did they not? I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes, they came off a big win against another interdivision matchup against the Ravens. So, Angelo, who you going with in this one?
I got the Colts. I just think they're a real complete team. They struggled in the early part of that Packer game, but once they settled in, that defense locked Aaron Rodgers and that Green Bay offense down. I think it'll be a close game, low scoring. I think like 25-24, something around there.
Okay. And Tyler?
I'll take the Colts. The Colts pulled out the win last time against the Titans. They didn't deserve to win that game last week, but they still pulled it out. I think they keep riding this winning streak, and they take the division.
All right. Now, here's where I'm going to differ from you guys. I like the Titans in this game for some reason. I do. I think this is a game where everybody who thought the Titans were phonies, the Titans shut them up. And I think that's where this game is going to be played. It's going to be a very, very good game. I cannot wait to watch this game. This is the game that I will be tuning into at noon. But I think the Titans just come out here, give the ball to the big man, Derrick Henry, and then also watch for Ryan Tannehill to come out of his shell a little bit here in this game. They know, the Colts know that Derrick Henry's going to run the ball. They're going to have to pass the ball with that defense. Ryan Tannehill's going to have no other option to pass the ball in this game. They will lock up Derrick Henry for a little bit to force the pass. That's why I'm taking the Titans, and I think Ryan Tannehill gets the W. All right, moving on. This game kind of sucks. The Panthers at the Vikings. I don't like this game either way. I'm going to take and Angelo, you go ahead.
I believe Tyler and I have already gone.
Yeah.
You have to go first.
I don't like this game. All right, in this game here, fine. Panthers at the Vikings. I'm going to go with is Bridgewater back?
Teddy Two Gloves is back.
All right, I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers in this one. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers. I'm not a fan of the Vikings losing last week to the fucking Dallas Cowboys. That was rough for the Minnesota Vikings, and I think their losing streak continues. I'm taking Carolina. Tyler, who are you taking?
I'm going to take Carolina as well. Teddy Two Gloves is back. You saw what they did last week with P.J. Walker. Shout out the XFL. I think they keep it rolling this week.
XFL. All right, Angelo, who you taking?
Well, I was going to take the Panthers, but you both are on the Panthers, so I'm going to take the Vikings.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to try to make up some. I'm going to try to take this fight this week and take over the top spot. That's my goal this week.
All right, and the weather games continue for the Cleveland Browns as they travel down to Jacksonville to face the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mike Glennon getting the start this week, baby. That giraffe fucking a football helmet that can throw a ball somewhere, somehow, some way. He is starting this week for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I have no idea what the fuck they're doing down there. I am taking the Buffalo Bills. I'm taking the Cleveland Browns. I'm all over a place again today. I'm taking the Cleveland Browns in this one. Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, just way too much. They're just going to ground and pound the shit out of this team.
Oh, yeah.
Baker Mayfield doesn't even have to throw the ball anymore. Just give it to those two guys and let them do their job. I'm taking the Browns. Angelo.
Well, I have firsthand knowledge of watching Mike Glennon perform under pressure.
You want to see my version of Mike Glennon? Here it is.
Slicing and dicing the defense. He's got that long neck that can help him scope out where the defenders are.
Yeah, he just doesn't have an arm to get it to him.
I'm taking the Browns. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm taking the Browns. All right. Tyler, who you taking, my man?
I got the Browns. The only reason they're throwing Mike Glennon out there is they're trying to catch up ground on the Jets to get Trevor. They could field anybody out there. They're not trying to win a game.
No, they're not. The Jacksonville Jaguars are terrible at this point. They're bad. I do like the one piece they do have down there. DJ Shark has really impressed me this year, even though he's been battling a couple nagging injuries all year. And I really love their running back down there, James Robinson. I love that kid. That kid's doing so much down there with such a shit team. It's amazing. All right, moving on from that game. This fucking game sucks. I hate this game. We got the New York Giants going to an injured, no Joe Burrow Cincinnati to play the Bengals, and it's going to be a bad game. I don't like this game. Tyler, who are you going?
I got the Giants. I don't see how the Bengals get any offense going. Yeah.
No Joe Mixon again, too, right?
Yeah. Joe Mixon's on IR. He's going to miss this week and at least next week, too.
Talk about a guy who's got it made. The guy's played like 3 games the entire year, signs a big contract. Fucking turd.
Him and Eckler were my 2 running backs to start fantasy football this year, and neither of them have played all fucking season. So let that sink in on how my fantasy is going right now.
Who are you taking in this one?
I got the Giants because Joe Burrow could barely win with that team. I don't see how a backup quarterback's winning with that team.
Right. And I'm taking Danny Dimes too, baby. I'm taking Daniel Jones and the New York Giants to go into Cincinnati and get a big W. In fact, I was talking to one of my buddies this morning. He hit me up late last night. So I was like, oh, man, like I was out. Well, not late. Late for me is 9 o'clock, guys. That's late for me. I'm asleep on the couch by 8:30. But my buddy hit me up last night. He's like, dude, I don't know what to do with my fantasy team. He's got Daniel Jones, and he has – who the fuck is his other quarterback? Cam Newton. He's like, who do I start? I was like, I would start Daniel Jones against this piss-poor, garbage-ass defense the Cincinnati Bengals have all day, every day. I think Danny Dimes throws all over this team.
Now, you know, because you picked the Giants, they're going to lose now, right?
Probably, but hey, you two picked the Giants too.
I know.
So,
thanks for dooming us.
Danny Dimes is still going to find a way to turn the ball over 3 times in this game.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He'll fumble twice, throw it at the referee, hit a mascot, and then fucking it's going to be a bad game. But Danny Dimes, maybe
he trips over the turf monster again.
Could be, yeah, could be. All right, here we go. Our next game. This game's going to be pretty interesting too. The Patriots. I think this game could be a trap game for the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals are going up to New England to play the Patriots. And Tyler, I'll let you start this one off, man. Who you going with?
So the line's been moving. So this opened up at -2 for the Cardinals. I'm looking at it now. It's -1 right now.
It's almost a pick 'em, yeah.
Yeah. I'll go with the Patriots at home to try and keep their playoff hopes alive.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I'll go before you go, Angelo.
All right.
One thing that definitely is interesting about this New England Patriot team is that they still have Bill Belichick. All right. And that guy, he knows how to take your best player out of the game. And the best player on that team right now is DeAndre Hopkins. Do they have the personnel to stop DeAndre Hopkins? I don't know. But a just behind best player, second best player on the Arizona Cardinal team has been Kyler Murray all year long. And I think that's where the New England Patriots are going to get into a little bit of trouble in this game. I'm taking Arizona in this game to win in New England and keep their playoff hopes alive. That's where I'm saying. So I'm taking the Cardinals. Angelo, how about you?
Well, Belichick has always been good against young quarterbacks. I just don't think New England has enough to keep up with Arizona. So I'm going to take Arizona.
All right. So that game is done. The next game we got here. Ooh, this game. Ryan Fitzmagic is back. We got the Dolphins and the Jets. Angelo, who are you taking?
This is a shit game. I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Dolphins are going to make the playoffs, bro.
Yeah, they didn't look that great last week.
Any game Fitzmagic plays in can't be a shit game. It's going to be an entertaining game no matter what.
590 yards, 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and the W.
I don't think the Jets are a good team, so I'm going to pick Miami.
No one thinks the Jets are a good team.
Terrible.
Yeah, I'm taking the Dolphins as well. The Jets can't fucking. No, I'm watch them fuck me this week. I'm taking the Dolphins. All right, Tyler, who are you taking?
I got the Dolphins. Fitzmagic's going to throw for 330, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions.
All right, so we're all on the Dolphin train for the bounce back. Tua Tagovailoa is not playing today, so yeah, Fitzpatrick, baby. Tagovailoa. All right, we got the next game, which I think this could be a trap game too. The Raiders go down to Atlanta and play the Atlanta Falcons. It does not look like Julio Jones is going to play in this one, so I don't know how much of a trap game it's going to be. I'm taking the Raiders. Tyler, who are you taking?
Julio Jones is out for the day. I got the Raiders too. Matt Ryan does not play well when Julio Jones is not in the lineup. So I think the Raiders are going to throw all over that defense and probably blow them out.
All right.
Here's another fun fact. That team that had the 2 running backs that I had also has Julio Jones, and he's been hurt most of the year. So I'm going to take the Raiders just because I hate my fantasy football team.
All right. Yeah. All right. I already took the Raiders in this one. All right. This game is going to be awesome. Maybe the best game on today. The New Orleans Saints go out to the Mile High City where the Denver Broncos have a backup wide receiver playing starting quarterback. It's going to be a tough one, guys. I could see the Saints losing this game. Angela, who you going with?
Hey, anything is possible in the NFL. This guy could come in and throw for 6 touchdowns, 486 yards, no interceptions.
Sold.
I would be, if I was the Bears, I would be, that guy would never leave that team if that happened. I'm going to take the Saints. They don't have a good team right now either, though. Taysom Hill didn't look that great last week.
What?
He didn't look that great.
That Mormon son of a bitch. I'm taking the Saints, too. The Denver Broncos don't stand a chance in this fucking game. I think Taysom Hill goes ham all over this team. Tyler, are you agreeing with me here?
Oh, yeah, I got the Saints. But I do think Kendall Hinton plays better quarterback today than Mitchell Trubisky.
Oh, that's a lock.
Is that
a lock? Is that your lock?
There's no such thing as a lock, but I think he has a chance to play better than Trubisky.
All right, we got the next games. We're moving on to the afternoon. That was the first afternoon game, 3:05 start, Saints Broncos. We got the 49ers and the Rams. Angelo, where are you going?
Both teams have kind of been suspect for a while. They have good games, they have bad games. I think the Rams defense is just going to be better than the 49ers offense, so I'm going to take the Rams.
Tyler.
I'll take the Rams too. 49ers are still super beat up. They are getting Raheem Mostert back today though. But I think that Rams defense just bottles them up and doesn't let them do much on offense.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams here as well. The San Fran, they're still hurt. They got, I think Ayuk is still on COVID-19 protocol. Debo Samuel is still on IR, I believe. They're just so banged up.
I thought Debo was coming back today. I'll check.
Oh, is he? I don't know. That team has dealt with so much injury. It's not even funny.
No,
I'm definitely taking the Rams in this one. All right. The best afternoon game, I think. There's only 3 of them on today, which kind of fucking sucks, to be honest with you. All right, but the better of the 3 afternoon games, we got the Chiefs in Tampa facing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right. This is a weird game. This is a weird game. I don't know if I like this game for the Chiefs, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs. It's just an odd game. Like, I don't know. I think Patrick Mahomes goes out there and balls out against a defense that's struggling right now in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I don't know, man. I could see Tom Brady lighting up a not so great Kansas City defense too. I think this game, this has the potential to be an absolute barn burner game. It could be a 45-42 showcase that we could see in the afternoon, and it could go either way.
So, are you saying pound the over?
I would pound the over on this. Both defenses are not that great. Everybody's giving Tampa Bay all these props to this awesome defense, and the reason why they've been so good this year is because Tom Brady keeps them off the field. That's pretty much all it boils down to. Tom Brady eats up so much clock. The guy's a fucking clock whore. All right, but
so the over-under is 55.5.
55.5. I would pound the over on it.
It opened up at 49.5 this week, and it's been bet up to 55.5.
I don't know if I like the over on that. I might take the under on 55.5.
Yeah, with how much it's been up, I think taking the under is a smart bet there.
Yeah,
or
I would take
if you want, tease the total up and then take the under.
Yeah. All right, so I'm taking the Chiefs. Tyler, who are you taking?
I think I'm going to take the Chiefs as well. The Chiefs don't have the type of defense that usually gives Brady a rough time back there. So I do think this is going to be a great game, but I think the Chiefs pull it out.
And Angelo.
Well, I liked the Chiefs also, but since you both picked the Chiefs, I'm going to go with TB12. I'm going to take Tampa Bay this week. The only reason I'm doing that, I think initially going into this, before we started talking, I was thinking Kansas City was going to blow the doors off of Tampa Bay, winning like 45-20, something like that.
It could go that way too.
That's my initial feeling. So I'm picking Tampa Bay strictly to get a game up if they happen to win, but I don't think they're going to win. That's just
it's a tough game. All right, let's move on. We always save our Monday night game or our Bears game for last. We got the Seahawks, Eagles. The Eagles fucking suck, man. I hate Philadelphia. I hate them. I think I hate Philadelphia more than New York sports teams. I think that's a strong possibility. I do not like the Eagles at all. I think they're terrible. I think Carson Wentz is terrible. They have no wide receivers. They have no running back game. Their defense is awful. I do not like the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm taking Seattle in this game.
Yeah. I'll go next. I'm taking Seattle also. I think Philadelphia is a train wreck right now.
All right. And Tyler?
I also have Seattle. Reports came out this morning that Jalen Hurts has been taking some QB1 snaps in practice this week. So it might be the beginning of the end for Carson Wentz.
That means if Wentz struggles in the first half, it's over.
He's just not a good quarterback.
I don't know what the hell's going on with him. I
don't think he's any good.
His whole career, he's been decent, and this year, man, he's just completely imploded.
I mean, he was in the talks for MVP that year. They were going to the Super Bowl, and then he blew his knee out. And then after that, it just never got back on track. And
I honestly think I may take Mitchell Trubisky over Carson Wentz.
You're fucking high.
No, I'm being serious. I'm being serious. I don't like any type of game.
There is no quarterback in the universe that I would take Mitch Trubisky over except Mike Glennon.
Oh,
that's it.
Boo this man. All right, and then you got a Tuesday night game, which because everybody's coughing up COVID out in fucking Pittsburgh and Baltimore. All right, and that's exactly the game. We got the Ravens going to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. I'm taking the Steelers in this game. I like that. I don't like anything about the Ravens at all right now. And with all the COVID struggle that they have no running backs, no Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
it's going to be a tough game. I think I got it at 5.5. I think that it's been moved up since
10.
It's 10 right now.
Oh my Lord. Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like that.
I don't think this. I think this Baltimore team is going to struggle. They have
going to struggle too, but Robert Griffin, baby, come back. Poof. Robert Griffin the third.
RG knee.
RG knee 3.
Yo, this would be a game where RG3 will come out and look pretty okay, and Ryan Pace will be
quarterback for the Chicago Bears.
Yep.
Yeah, baby. Yep.
And then blow his fucking knee out in week 2.
Week 1, fucking RG knee 3. All
I
right.
got Pittsburgh also.
All right, so we're across the board on Pittsburgh on this one. And now to the fucking game of games. We got 2 Bears fans here. We got a cheese fuck here. All right. We got a Packer fan here. Not fun. Guys, it's finally here. Bears go up to Lambeau this week to play the Packers. And Mitch Trubisky is now the starting quarterback. And I'm pretty sure Angelo has COVID. He's just sitting there blowing shit off into a napkin in the fucking last 10 minutes of the show.
Dude, but I think it's just the allergies of the weather changing and shit. I'm all congested right here. It's driving me nuts. I already had COVID. I can't get it yet. At least I don't think so.
I can't get it again. But yeah, here we go. We got the I know where I'm going in this game. I know where I'm going.
I know you. I know where you're going. You hate the Bears team.
I do hate this Bears team, but I love the Bears. I'm taking the Packers in this game.
I can't.
Aaron Rodgers is 18-5 against the Bears in his career.
I can't believe you just said that.
What?
Bears Packer week. You can't put your hate for the Bears aside.
Nope.
And hate the Packers more.
I do hate the Packers more, but I hate this Bears team. All right. Dude, listen, fuck you. I get so much shit on this on Twitter from everybody.
I know. I fucking love it.
They call me Pack Mike and shit, and I fucking hate the Packers, okay? All right. I fucking hate them. All right. All because I said that my favorite quarterback of all time is Brett Favre. I'm not changing my mind. My favorite quarterback is still going to be Brett Favre, whether you fucking call me Pack Mike or not. I don't give a shit. All right. That's the dilemma I have to live up to. Okay. Fine. But Aaron Rodgers is 18-5 against the Chicago Bears. This dude has had monster fucking games against the Bears. He's had games where it's like, oh, the Bears are going to win this one. And he gets hurt. And Rodgers goes out hurt, comes back to save the day in the last 8 minutes of the fucking game to win the game. I can't know.
Shit.
Yeah, he's higher than a kite. Listen, if Aaron Rodgers can play stoned and beat the Chicago Bears in 8 minutes in the fourth quarter, I'm going to take a healthy Aaron Rodgers who's on a fuck you tour to show the Green Bay Packers that they fucked up by taking Jordan Love. I'm taking the Packers in this game. That's where I'm staying. I don't care. I'm taking the Packers. Angelo, go ahead.
I'm last when we play.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right, Tyler, go ahead. He's going to surprise us to take the Bears.
Yeah, right.
I got the Packers.
What?
I don't think.
No way.
I don't think the Bears team has a chance in this game.
Me neither. All right, Angelo, go ahead.
You don't think they have a chance?
No.
I think anytime anytime the Bears or the Packers play, there's always a chance for the Bears to win. But have they won? No, they haven't. But every game Trubisky has played against the Packers, there's always been a chance for the Bears to win the entire game.
Is his shoulder 100% healthy?
Well, it's better than fucking Nick Foles back there. And that's without a doubt. But that offensive line, they needed to go back to Mitch Trubisky.
I agree. No, I agree. That offensive line is bad.
Now, I have the Bears winning 17-14.
I like how you talk yourself into convincing yourself that the Bears are going to win. I like the Bears.
All right, so for pick'em purposes, I've said every single week so this is 12 weeks in a row, I will never pick against the Bears.
Well, you should, because this is why you suck at the pick'ems.
Oh. I don't hear you that low in the standings, Mike.
Yeah.
Can you speak up, please?
Eat a dick.
Even with me picking the Bears, I'm still in second place, and I'm only 2 games out.
All right. Whatever.
I'm picking the Bears. I don't think the Bears are going to win, but I'm picking the Bears.
All right. So there we go. We got our games in. Angelo, the stat sheet corrector. Make sure you have everything written down for next week to give us our standings. And I'm super happy, guys, because right at the perfect timing, our guy Erik Lambert from Sports Mockery is joining us right now to talk about the Bears-Packers game. Like I said, we always save this game for the last game of the week, the Bears game, to talk about the Bears. And we always try to have a guest. And I do have good news. Erik and I were talking. Well, first, let's welcome him. Erik, my man, what's going on, dude? How are you?
I'm doing good, guys. How are you?
It's Bears-Packer week, man. So I'm struggling as a Bears fan. We got this asshole next to you. Jeez. All right, and then we got another disgruntled Bears fan over here, right next to me here. This is going to be a rough week, Erik. What are the Bears in store for here? We got word that Trubisky is now finally back. He's starting at quarterback today. Nagy came out and said that, I think yesterday or Friday, I forget which day. But what's the game plan here? What are we going to see out of Mitch, you think?
I think Mitch is coming in with a chip on his shoulder for obvious reasons. I mean, he's motivated. His contract is coming up. He's got to play well if he wants to get paid this offseason because he's going to be a free agent. The 5th-year option was declined. So he's plenty motivated to play well in this game. And, it's as good a time as any because there's 6 games left and he doesn't have a lot of time left. He has to make an impression now. So I think he's going to be motivated to play well. Whether he does, I guess we're going to see.
Right. Is his shoulder back to health? Is that the go? Is he full participant in practice or is he limited?
He is full go. He said himself he's 100%. It feels good. He's had enough time to recover. So I don't think the shoulder will have any limitations.
All right.
So is this just a way because of how bad Nick Foles has looked over the last couple weeks? The word came out that the hip wasn't as bad as the carting off the field needed to, showed. Is this a way for Nagy to maybe see how the offense runs with Trubisky instead of Foles because of how bad Foles has looked without actually saying, hey, we're going back to Mitch full time?
I think that's part of it. I do think Foles is still pretty hurt. Hip pointers aren't exactly comfortable injuries, even though it wasn't as serious as they initially feared. And you have to remember, he's already immobile as it is. And when you have a hip problem on top of that, it's probably even worse, especially behind this offensive line. Yeah. So it just gave Nagy a good enough excuse to say, okay, we're going back to Mitch because he can actually move. So that's the biggest reason they're probably going back to him. But I do think Nagy is saying to himself, I've got to find a way to give this team a spark. And if it means going back to Mitch, I'm going to have to do that. So, that's what's going to happen. And, maybe his legs will give him a little extra juice and, keep the offense on the field a little more often.
That seems to be the biggest problem. They always come out and they look so lackluster every snap on offense. The defense is always fired up. The offense gets out there and they're moving at such a snail's pace. It makes you wonder. Every time they speed up, they always seem to look good. And I'm hoping to see Trubisky utilize his legs to get some time in that pocket. Do you think that they'll be designing more quarterback option type of plays for Trubisky, or are they going to stick to a similar plan that they had in like week 1 and 2?
I think they're going to try and go with what they did in weeks 1 and 2 because this opponent, the Packers, don't exactly have the strongest run defense. They're going to try and establish the ground game with David Montgomery, even though he's traditionally struggled against the Packers. If they can get that going, then I think Trubisky will play better because he tends to be better off play action and with an established ground attack. So I think they're going to try. Whether they do, it's hard to say with this offensive line.
Right.
You and I were talking a little. Oh, go ahead, Tyler. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I know Nagy refused to name a starter after this week. If Trubisky plays decent this week, do you think he continues to roll with him when Nick Foles comes back, or do you think they go back Foles?
I think that ultimately depends on how Trubisky plays. If he has a real dud of a game, I think absolutely they'll consider going back to Foles. But if he plays reasonably well, I think they're going to try and ride the hot hand because they need a hot hand because nothing else is working on this offense.
Right. Erik, now we just seen Matt Patricia get fired after the debacle in Denver. Oh, was that what you were going to say, Mike?
Yeah, you stole my question, dickhead.
My bad. I was going to say, do you think, like, let's say the Bears go out there tonight and it's 45-3. Will Matt Nagy be fired at the end of the week, going into next week?
You know, I think it'll be very tempting for to do that. But ultimately, he's proven himself to be an owner who's going to give the people he hired a full season to just finish the string out, and then he'll start fresh in the offseason. He did that for Trestman, despite the debacle in Green Bay in 2014. So if he did that for Trestman, I think he'll do that for Nagy, who he still likes and respects. So I don't expect anybody to get fired mid-season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat with you there. I mean, I don't think they'll make a move midweek. I think they'll wait to the end of the season to make a move there, Eric. I'm a little just to see what else is out there. Now, I was doing a little bit of research here, and I read your article yesterday about what the Bears are looking at, and you brought up this kid Kyle Trask. And I love this kid down there in Florida. I like what I see out of this kid. This kid has a good zip on his ball. He can move a little bit. The only thing I'm a little worried about with Kyle Trask is his height. He's like 6'3". We got some big old linemen down here, up in here in Chicago. But this kid seems to be the real deal. What is your prospect of this kid so far?
He's a solid guy, and solid's not bad. I've read he's 6'5", so I don't know where the 6'3" thing came from. Maybe it's just a misconception, but he seems to have good enough size. The arm's not too bad. It's not elite by any stretch of the imagination, but he gets enough zip on the balls. He's great at the short to intermediate areas, extremely accurate. He throws with poise, timing, all the stuff you like to see. Good field vision, all that stuff. I mean, his rise has been very impressive, especially in the SEC. So you always like to see that against the top competition. So I think he's what you'd call a high floor guy. He's somebody who's probably going to be pretty decent in the NFL, have a decent career. You just don't know about his ceiling. How much higher can he go in terms of his physical skill set? That's what, teams are sort of struggling with him right now. Can he go even higher than he's played right now?
The kid reminds me he almost has like the same type of, he carries himself like Ben Roethlisberger. I would say that's a pretty good comp to Kyle Trask. When he moves, he's a lumbering mover. You know what I mean? Like where it's going to be hard to bring the guy down. And I'll say this too. One of my favorite aspects about baseball is pitching. Okay, I love pitching in baseball. All right, you always when I looked for like stud pitchers, you look at all these guys that are like, look at Carlos Zambrano. The guy had an ass like a horse. You know what I mean? Like he had the hips to do it. Like he threw hard. You know what I mean? And that's one thing. He's this Kyle Trask kid. He's big. Like he's built wide, like a refrigerator with legs. And that's one thing I like about this kid. Where is this kid's potential in the draft? Is he a first rounder, second rounder, third round? Where do you think he'll fall if he does enter the NFL draft?
When I initially evaluated Trask, I had him as a high second rounder. But the way he's been playing lately, he's playing himself into the first round right now. There's no question in that. Now it becomes a question of where's he going to go in the first round. I don't think he's going to make it into the top 10. I'm thinking somewhere in the teens range. So this is why the Bears are coming into the conversation, because right now they have the 16th overall pick they're projected to have. So they could be in that conversation for possibly drafting Trask. And from everything I've heard, they're paying close attention to him for that obvious reason.
Right. So if the Bears do fall at that 16 pick where they're going to be in mediocrity hell and where Kyle Trask may fall, we all know that the Bears need a quarterback here with not picking up the option on Mitch Trubisky. Nick Foles is still stuck here over your next couple of years. Do you say fuck it and just take your old lineman, the immediate need that you need, and pass up on Kyle Trask? I mean, what do they do there?
It's a very difficult question, believe me, because both sides have an argument. They badly need a quarterback, and Kyle Trask has shown to be a good, solid quarterback and somebody who can probably start right away, which is another intriguing part of him. But at the same time, their offensive line is a complete wreck, and while Trask can move a bit, he's not exactly, a runner. So if you put him behind that offensive line without additional help, he's gonna be abused. So
Yeah,
it's a very difficult question, and also something you need to keep in mind is, do you want to put that decision in the hands of Pace and Nagy?
No, right.
Who might be, entering a lame duck season of sorts next year if you do bring them back. So it's this whole, convoluted situation that the Bears need to sort out before they even consider taking a quarterback. If it were me, I'd go O-line and sort of punt the quarterback decision either to the second round or even to the next draft and just take, a developmental guy later in the draft and just see if you can get somebody next year, because their offensive line's a complete mess right now and they've neglected it for way too long. They need to start fixing that.
I'm on the same page with you, man. I go back and forth. On whether or not this team needs to draft O-line 1, 2, and then grab a guy in the third round, or go O-line quarterback, O-line wide receiver. They lack so much on the offensive side of the ball. It's not even funny. They still need a number 2 wide receiver other than Allen Robinson. And who knows if Allen Robinson's even going to come back. So, I mean, they got so many holes on the offensive side of the ball. It's rough. And this week, going up to Green Bay, like you alluded to earlier, where we were talking Packers-Bears here, let's get back on that track. You said that the Packers do not have a great rush defense. They don't have that great of a pass defense either. They do have one solid corner up there, but with no time in the offensive line for the Chicago Bears, how do the Bears win this game, Erik? Is it going to be set up the run and rely on play action?
It's going to be, set up the run, but I also think attacking the middle of the field with your tight end, something they've been somewhat reluctant to do from time to time. But you've got 2 guys who can catch the ball in Kmet and Graham. Their inside linebackers, aren't horrible, but they also aren't great either. So you got to find a way to try and exploit any advantage you can get. And, attacking the middle of the field, running the football seem to be their best bets right now because their corners are pretty solid, especially Alexander. And history has shown, especially with Mitch, when he attacks the outside, he tends to throw interceptions from time to time. So get Anthony Miller involved, maybe take a shot with Darnell Mooney from time to time to keep the coverage, backed up a little bit and see if you can run the football. I think that's their best bet to win this game because I think they really need to control the football and keep Aaron Rodgers off the field. Otherwise, it's going to be a boat race.
Right.
So, Erik, you mentioned the tight end position. Every time we've seen Cole Kmet get a good amount of targets, he's looked pretty good. Is there a specific reason that they're just not getting him more involved? Are they unable to? Is he not developing the way they want him to? Because it seems to me that it's nuts that they play, Jimmy Graham so much between the 20s and then they just go away from the tight end inside the 20s. But is there a reason that Cole's not getting more looks?
Basically the scheme. That's the biggest explanation I've been able to find because the tight ends coach, Clancy Barone, literally said this scheme doesn't design around specific players. It designs around, types of plays. If you get this coverage on this side of the field, then throw to this side of the field, stuff like that. So it's not that type of scheme, which is kind of a problem considering what we've seen so far. And it sort of enhances what a lot of people have already said about Matt Nagy. He doesn't know how to utilize his personnel properly because he's so married to the scheme and he hasn't been able to adjust. And that's been a huge issue for this team. So I think that's a big reason why Kmet hasn't gotten more looks, which is why a lot of people want Nagy gone because they feel somebody else can come in and properly utilize what he can do. So it's a question of, can Bill Lazor maybe adjust the scheme enough to start using these guys properly? If not, then, we're probably not going to see these coaches around much longer.
And that's what I was going to ask. Do you think another coach, any other type of coach in the NFL right now, pick a guy, would be utilizing and more successful with this group of players? Or is it like the group of players themselves just don't have the talent?
I think this group does have talent. They flashed it plenty of times over the past couple of years. I think it does have talent. It's just not being, developed and utilized properly. The 2 guys who stand out to me as possibilities for coming in and using it well are Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator in Carolina. He's had, a meteoric rise from what he did at LSU and now what he's doing in Carolina. And then Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator in Tennessee, who's done a tremendous job with Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, all those guys. So I think you bring one of those 2 guys in, I think they'd make way more out of what we have than what Matt Nagy's done.
One guy that I really like, Eric, is I like the offensive coordinator out there in Pittsburgh, Randy Fitchner. I think I have it right where if everything shits the bed here and the Bears, they don't make the playoffs, yada yada yada. When is the very first time that they can start interviewing coaches and stuff like that? If they're going to move on from Pace and if they're going to move on from Nagy, can they start interviewing first week of the playoffs? Is that correct? Do I have that right or no?
Yes, it depends on the types of coaches. If a coach has a bye, like there's only going to be one team in each conference that'll have a bye, so you can interview any coach from either of those teams during that sequence, but you'll have to wait to interview other coaches until after the first playoff game, and so on and so forth until either their season's over or until after the Super Bowl.
And I really like that Randy Fitchner guy out there out in Pittsburgh. He's been pretty damn good. I like that guy. All right, so let's get on it, Eric. We got our predictions here. I'm taking Packers in this game. I'm going to take it. I'm taking it 34-13 Packers. All right, Angelo, who are you taking?
I never picked the Packers for anything in my life. That's just the meathead Bear fan in me. Do I think the Bears are going to win? No, but I'm going to pick them to win in a 17 type of 14 game. I hope that the Bears defense can fluster Aaron Rodgers enough to, to me, whenever Rodgers plays against a good pass rush, he always seems to struggle a little bit. He always makes that errant throw or, gets frustrated with his wide receivers. I think there's a possibility for him to get frustrated in this game.
All right, Tyler, what's your prediction on this game?
I got Packers 24-13. So the Packers don't run a very fast-paced offense, and going up against a good Bears defense, I don't think they're not gonna be putting up a whole lot of points. I think it's gonna be a nice slow-paced game, grind the ball, and I don't think the Bears are gonna move much on offense.
All right, and Eric, what's your prediction, my man?
I have the Packers winning 27-14. The Bears will get a couple of touchdowns, probably beneficial of maybe a turnover or a big special teams play, but even with going to Mitch, I don't think their offense is going to be cohesive enough to, keep up with the Packers in this one.
All right. So we got we got 3 Packers, 1 Bears. It doesn't look that good. We're looking more and more like the Aaron Rodgers record against the Bears, 18-5 against the Bears.
So real quick, if the Bears somehow the NFL adds this next playoff team, right? And the Bears happen to eke their way into a playoff spot after the 5-1 record, a 9-7 could get them in. Does that save Pace and Nagy just because they squeak into the playoffs?
Honestly, yeah, I think it does. And I know you don't really hear it, but at the end of the day, they made the playoffs. They had a winning record, so they'll have that going for them. And they'll probably be able to convince McCaskey, listen, just give us one more year to let us try and get this entire thing fixed. Let us figure out the quarterback, let us figure out the offensive line, and give us one more shot to, really make a run at a Super Bowl next year. And, under the circumstances with COVID and all that stuff, I think that'll be able to sway McCaskey to say, all right, you got one more year.
Oh, man.
Eric, I know you're a Bear fan, man, but I watch it, and I know that you write for Sports Mockery, and that's awesome, dude. I love your stuff. It's great. But I want to talk to you as a fan, not a writer. I want to talk to you as a fan right now. What pisses you off about this Chicago Bears team?
Their consistency and being mediocre, to be perfectly honest. It's amazing how they've managed to maintain the identity they've had for so long. Great defense, solid special teams, horrific offense. It's been a consistent cycle for decades, literal decades, and it's actually pretty impressive when you think about it. So that's what really pisses me off. The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So there it is. We got 3 Packers, 1 Bears to the meathead. Eric, thank you for joining us, man. And I did mention earlier in the show that you're going to be joining us every Sunday from here on out for the rest of the season, like you and I had talked about. Going to go over, recap the Bears and stuff like that. Eric, where can everybody find you at? Everybody knows you. I always retweet your stuff, but tell everybody that's listening on the podcast where we can find you on the Twitter machine and how can we read your stuff.
You can find me at Erik Lambert 1. I'm on there all the time talking Bears.
All right, Eric, thank you so much, my friend. We really do appreciate it, and we will touch base with you next week as the Bears take on the Lions. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, guys. See you later.
next week.
Oh, take care. All right, everybody. Erik Lambert, that guy. Listen, Eric's fucking awesome, man. I love this dude. He comes in with us, he joins us, and he at least tells the truth. You know, he tells us what we want to hear. Me as a Bear fan, I want to hear what's going on. I don't want to hear blowing smoke up my ass. And I don't want to hear, fresh cut roses that this team's going to be, they're going to make the playoffs. He's not a meathead fan. And that's one thing I like about Eric. He's to the point, man. He tells it like it is. And listen, it's awesome that he came and joined us again today. It sucks. The realization of everything going on here where the Bears are in mediocrity. It sucks that the Bears have to go up against the Packers this week in a game where I'm going to watch it. It's a rivalry game. I will watch it. But it's not going to be a fun watch as I think the Packers are going to trounce them.
Let me say this. I know you think I'm a meathead, and I do come off as meatheadish. I don't think the Bears are going to win this game. I don't think they're a good team. I think the Packers are going to go in there, and I think they're going to embarrass the Bears. I mean, the Bears, every time I think it can't get worse, it has gotten worse. And I don't think it could have got worse from the game before the bye, but I think this will get worse. And that's what sucks the most. And we talk about this like a broken fucking record. We're like an antifreeze drip in our fucking blood. We're dying slowly and slower and slower. Our livers are going to give out. Our stomachs are going to explode. Our heart's going to tank.
Real quick, speaking about stomachs exploding, go eat Firehouse subs, guys. Quick, got it in there. Go eat Firehouse subs. It'll fill you up. It'll make your stomach want to explode. It's delicious.
I try to keep this positive attitude with this team because I love the Bears so much. They're my favorite Chicago sports team. Bears 1, Cubs 2B. It's just it sucks that Eric is right. This team has just been so okay with being mediocre for so long,
right?
That it's so frustrating. And I feel like now you've seen teams kind of take, especially like with the Bulls, you've seen teams take this approach where the fans' voice is really making these organizations have to step up and make change. And I'm hoping that even if they squeak into the playoffs, that somehow the anger in the fan base and the lack of success is going to push this team to want better. You know what I mean? And that's my hope.
Well, I don't think that this team is good enough to make the playoffs. All right, I really don't. I don't think they're going to squeak in there. The way Arizona's playing in the hunt and the way that you're going to get at least one team out of the NFC least to host a fucking playoff game, the teams that are in the hunt, you got some really good teams in the hunt. So I think who's in the hunt? You got Tampa Bay in the hunt. You got the Rams and go ahead, Ty.
If we have the Tuesday night game canceled, if there's more positive tests, they have already decided they are going to add an extra playoff team in each conference. So at that point, then it's 8 teams making the playoffs.
Yep.
And if they are sitting at 8-8, I think they get in.
And that's the thing. That's why I asked Eric that question.
I don't want to see this team get into the playoffs and get fucking housed.
Well, that's not even what I'm worried about. I'm worried about this team making it into the playoffs and then, like Eric said, using
personnel, right?
Yes, using that as a way. Oh well, hey, we made the playoffs. Like, bro, you were 5-1 at one point, right. And if you make the playoffs at 8-8, how is that successul?
Right? No, yeah, exactly. I mean, listen. There's been teams. There's going to be a team this year that goes underneath 500 to fucking win a division. We see it's happened before, where the Seattle Seahawks, a 7-9 team, went down to New Orleans and fucking rolled New Orleans in a playoff game. All right. I'm not going to say it's not. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen. It's just very unlikely that it's going to happen. And the Bears, listen, man, the Bears are one of those teams where if they do squeak into the playoffs, they're dumb enough to win a fucking playoff game.
Yeah.
Like, really, honestly, they would be – they're good enough to where they would win a playoff game based on the defense alone, depending on who they're playing. Look, the Bears have beaten some pretty good teams so far, a couple of good teams so far this year. They beat Tampa Bay, very good team. Right? We're just got done talking about them. Tom Brady, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, now Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, Ronald Jones. They beat that team. Somehow, some way, they beat that team. They were in who else did they beat here? I'm drawing a blank here. They beat the Giants. They beat the fucking Panthers. They beat
Lions.
The Lions. But then they go out and lose to the fucking Vikings.
Yeah.
Like, that makes no sense to me. And the Vikings lose to the fucking Cowboys. So, listen, this team is – and I'm fucking sick of it, man. Like he said, I'm tired of the media. Erik said he's tired of the mediocrity. And it's astonishing that they have continued to sit in that fucking purgatory forever. I made a post on Thanksgiving that I hope McCaskey's turkey was dry and her stuffing with slop. All right? Because I fucking hate this purgatory that they've put me in the last 2 decades of being a fucking Bears fan.
And,
right?
One
Super Bowl appearance in the last fucking 20 years is not good enough.
Right.
All right? And I'm not the guy that's like, oh, well, it's okay to suck as long as you beat the Packers twice. No. I don't give a fuck if they lose both games against the Packers every single year. I don't care. As long as they're a good enough team to fucking make the playoffs on a consistent basis, take a page out of Green Bay's book.
I was just going to say that.
Winner. I mean, become a division winner. Take a page out of their book and become a division winner. You playoffs consistently.
So I live in Wisconsin, right? I never hear Packer fans say, well, I don't care if they if they lose every game as long as they beat the Bears. Yeah, because that's what winning organizations don't think. They think, I want to win every game. I don't care.
Right.
I don't want to lose. And this Bears team, so fans in Chicago have this weird perception that if you question the team, you're automatically not a fan of that team.
Right.
Sylvie from ESPN talks about it all the time. You can question the team. That's what being a fan is questioning a team and not being satisfied with mediocre play. Why? Because we work. We're not millionaires, right? We have to work. And when we work hard for our money, the last thing we want to do is spend money on going to see a piss poor performance from one of our favorite sports teams.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's not fair to the fan base. Give the fans something to be excited for. I live in Wisconsin. You know how hard it is to raise 2 boys to be Bears fans in Wisconsin? It is not an easy fucking task, boys.
Especially when the other team has been on a pedestal of being a better team over the last fucking 20 years.
Right. They just win.
I'm not saying Green Bay is the fucking greatest team on the planet. I fucking hate the Packers, dude. I really do. It's one. I don't know. Seriously, I hate the fucking Packers. Okay. But when it boils down to it, it's where winning organization looks like. And the Bears are not a winning organization. They're really not. They need a bunch of change in this fucking team to become a legitimate team again, a legitimate ran organization. I said it a couple weeks ago, man, that this fucking Bears team may be one of the worst ran organizations in all of fucking sports. It may be, Angela. It seriously may be. Yeah, I mean, you go through Fox and now this shithead Nagy.
Yep.
You go through. Help me out here. Who was the shithead GM before Pace?
Emery,
Ray Emery, and fucking Ryan Pace. And you just all right. Now I give Ryan Pace credit to where it's due, man. The guy built a fucking amazing defense. He built an amazing defense. Eddie Jack. I mean, I'm not going to shit on him for that.
So I'll give. But here's the thing.
Brought in here.
His head coach was John Fox. John Fox is a defensive coach. He knows how to find defensive players.
Yeah, no, but you still got to draft him. John Fox didn't have any pull. You knew John Fox was a stopgap in between whoever you were going to add next after Trestman. He's a stopgap guy.
Wasn't John Fox blindsided by the Trubisky pick? Didn't he want Watson?
Yep. He wanted Watson. And here's the other thing. He didn't want Kevin White when Ryan Pace drafted Kevin White. And Ryan Pace still drafted Kevin White. That's what I mean, is John Fox helps these talks with, I want this guy, I want that guy. Yeah, Leonard Floyd didn't pan out right, but
Adam Shaheen didn't pan out right.
Right. Every single offensive pick that Ryan Pace has made has been lackluster, to say the least.
I like David Montgomery, but you haven't been able to see the guy's potential behind a fucking shitty O-line.
Running backs are such a dime a dozen. You see it in every team, every single team. That's the worst part, is that Montgomery's production hasn't even been average because of this team. If he was average, at least you'd be like, yeah, well, maybe with a better offensive line, he could be better. But he's not even, I mean, has he broken 50 yards a game?
Yeah, he's broken 50 yards, I think.
It's kind of hard to do that when you get the ball handed off to you and you got 3 dudes in your face. You can't do much with that.
Right. And that's what
he's
I've been
one of the
saying this-
most.
Go ahead, Ty.
Go ahead. He's one of the most elusive running backs in the league. I don't have the stat pulled up in front of me, but I know he's in the top 5 in elusive rate. So I mean, he's got the talent, but he just can't do anything when he's got 3 guys in his face by the time he takes 2 steps.
You can't even in every game that I've watched that David Montgomery has been in, he hasn't even had the opportunity to showcase how fast the fucking guy is. Honestly, the way he's been getting batted around by a fucking defensive players as soon as they hit the fucking line, it's terrible.
That's why
You
I
don't
think
even know what you got in this kid, man. All right.
Right.
And then, okay, I'm not a fan of Anthony Miller. I wasn't a fan of Anthony Miller when they drafted him. Okay. I just don't like him. He may be a good player. I don't know. I mean, again, that boils down to how shitty your fucking offense has been over the last couple of years. Okay. I do like what I've seen out of Darnell Mooney so far. I watched that guy during a Rams game a few weeks ago beat Jalen Ramsey fucking 4 times in one game.
Yep.
Jalen Ramsey is one of the top cornerbacks in all of football, if not the top cornerback in all of football. And Darnell Mooney legit made him his bitch 4 times in that game. Blew him out of the fucking water on a go route, on a post route, and on a slant route. It was fucking ridiculous. Blew him out of the water. That first initial juke move, Jalen Ramsey's jockstrap was sitting 5 yards away from him. It fell off of him. Like, that's how bad he juked him out. All right, I like what I see out of Darnell Mooney. Fucking get the ball. But it's I don't know, man. I don't even know.
We'll sit here, we'll spin
It
around
turns
and
into
around
a
and
fucking
around.
bitching part of the show,
Right?
where we end up leaving the show aggravated because we love the Bears, and we love the Bears so much that
It's every week. It's that cycle. Now, why don't we transition to fantasy? Because let's get some quick fantasy in. So that we can get off.
All right, go Bears! I gotta go grab the dogs. You guys, Tyler, give your fantasy stuff. I'm gonna drop out.
All right. So just like every week here, I have a couple streamers. Especially this week due to all the last minute COVID stuff. If your league is allowing alternates because of the COVID stuff with the Steelers and the Ravens, if you need to scoop yourself up an alternate, say you got Big Ben or not James Conner. James Conner has COVID. Gus Edwards or Deontay Johnson, Juju Smith-Schuster, one of those guys. You could pick one of these guys up and name them as an alternate if your league is allowing it. So QB this week, I got Daniel Jones going up against the Cincinnati Bengals, and Ryan Fitzmagic going up against the Jets. It's a revenge game for Fitzmagic, but he has one of those every single week he starts because he's played for half the teams in the league. Over at running back, we got Brian Hill. I like Brian Hill as a spot start this week. Low end RB2 numbers. Yeah, he's not gonna win you a week, but I don't think he's gonna hurt you. I think he's got a floor of around 8 to 9 points. He's gonna get a bulk of the carries with Todd Gurley being out. And then another guy, Jordan Wilkins. He's gonna split carries with Naheem Hines since Jonathan Taylor is now on the COVID list. I know I also gave you guys Jordan Wilkins last week. Game script didn't go his way. Jonathan Taylor did have the hot hand. So if Wilkins gets out in the game with a hot hand, I think he takes he takes most of the carries away from Hines, and Hines is going to work in the passing game. But that's the problem with the Colts running back by committee is they're just going to play the hot hand. If Naheem Hines comes out and lights the world on fire, Wilkins isn't going to get many touches.
I played the over on his rushing yards last week against the Packers for Hines.
Yeah, same here.
Didn't even get close, man. Didn't even get close.
Yeah, I think he ended up with like -1 rushing.
Yeah.
I
was so hopeful. I was so hopeful. And then it just slapped me right in the face.
Packers rush defense can't fucking stop anybody, but that week there's Jonathan Taylor hot hand.
Leave it to the Packers to ruin my day some more.
All right, over at running back, we got Nelson Aguilar for the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to pull up his stats real quick because Nelson Aguilar has some crazy stats.
I could definitely use this running back help. My running back situation has been terrible.
All right, so on the season, Nelson Aguilar has 24 catches, and 6 of those are touchdowns.
Nice.
A quarter of his catches are touchdowns. So I think he has a very nice chance to get in the end zone this week against the weak-ass Atlanta Falcons defense. And then my other two guys, Jalen Reagor for the Eagles and Kendall Hinton for the Broncos. He's going to be making a spot start at QB this week since they have no QB. He is wide receiver eligible on every platform besides ESPN. ESPN, I don't know what the hell they're doing. They have Taysom Hill as tight end eligible last week, and this week Kendall Hinton is only QB eligible. So what the hell are you guys doing? He's never played QB in the NFL, and he's already QB eligible. I don't know what the hell they're doing. And then tight end, neither of these guys really get me excited, but Trey Burton, Kyle Rudolph, tight end landscape is miserable, especially with Mark Andrews being out this week. Lots of people are going to the waiver wire to try and find somebody. I think Trey Burton and Kyle Rudolph have a chance to get in the end zone, especially Kyle Rudolph because Irv Smith is out this week.
All right, so there's our fantasy stuff. Now we got some bets. All right, Tyler, what are the smart plays this week?
All right, so I only have one play this week. Mike forced me into it. I was going to take the week off because it's been a very, very rough couple weeks. So if you guys are reading between the tea leaves here, is fade my pick, and you guys are going to win some money. My bet is the Chicago Bears team total under 17 points at -110.
Yeah, I would take that too. I don't believe the Bears are going to score 17 points.
All right, so I will pound the over on that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I don't like it either. Yeah.
At least somebody will finally win some money for my picks. Then
Are you locking it in? Are you locking it in?
Lock, Tyler? Is that a lock?
No
Come
such
on.
thing's a lot.
Come on,
Man,
you got to have your lock.
Every time you try and get me,
That's the funny part at this point. That's what's funny.
All right,
That's why it's funny.
Bears team total under 17 lock.
All right, there's our lock. So that means the Bears are going to score 24 points, guys.
On FanDuel, it's at 16.5.
Oh, it just dropped because before the show started, I got 17 from
Because
FanDuel.
Tyler just said it.
That's right. So now you pound the over, boys. That's a 17 waiting to happen. That's a Bears 17 waiting to happen.
At 16.5 there, I'm probably not touching that because 17 has a very high likelihood of happening, and if it does hit 17, at least you get the push. You take 17.
Right.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't take anything 16.5, 17.5. I probably wouldn't touch anything.
All right, Angela, you got any bets for this week?
I like the
Cole Kmet touchdown.
Cole Kmet,
I told Mike I can't make any more Chicago bets for a while because ever since I hit that Cole Kmet anytime touchdown and the Bears to win, I haven't won a Bears bet.
Fucking Angela was betting on players that have been out of the league for 60 years to score a touchdown.
Yeah, Lamar Miller.
200.
Bronco Nagurski's going to score a touchdown this week.
All right, let's not be outrageous.
They're going to put him in a wheelchair. They're going to dig him up, put him in a wheelchair, and hand him the ball.
So I like the over in the Miami and the Jets game. It's at 45. Both teams have put up points. The Jets with Joe Flacco have moved the ball pretty well. I think that sets up. Is he starting?
Darnold is playing. Yep.
Oh man. Well, I still like the over.
Man.
I still like the over. I don't think that Miami's defense is that great. 45 isn't that hard to get to in the NFL unless you're the Chicago Bears. This is the week I think the Bears fall to the Jets for most points, for least points in the NFL. I think the Jets pass them by a lot. So that's my play. It's the over's 45. I think I pound the over. Pound.
My play this week is the Baltimore Ravens plus 10. I don't know why. I'm going to take this bet. I like RG3. If you put a couple bucks on it, it could be a big win for you. So I'm going to do that one as my go-to. So, I mean, there we go, man. There we go.
What do you think about the Bears plus 8.5?
I think no.
Come on, just a little bit.
I don't think so at all. Dude, check it out. I found pop in a bottle.
Yeah,
Mexican
go to
Coke.
the
That's the
store.
best. That's the best
You go
Coke.
to the store, they have a whole aisle that has bottled soda.
You know what? Why don't you make another fucking stupid bet? Walter Payton, touchdown today. Anytime touchdown scorer.
Wouldn't that be fucking cool if he came back
Anytime touchdown scorer. Walter Payton.
from the grave? I'm gonna bet on the Bears this week. Just kidding.
I'll field your bet. Send me the money. I'll pay you out the odds. I'll match
Hey, man.
FanDuel's odds.
What are my odds? You said you were going to pay me out for the Jets to cover. What happened?
No, that's on the money line. I'll pay you out on the fucking money line.
Oh, now he's switching his shit, Angela. You see that?
Yup. It's that
What a
he's got all
dick
that
suck.
airflow through the Packer fucking cheese up there.
Yeah, right?
And
He's a fart in the wind.
losing its train of thought, flying through the fucking holes in the hat.
It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Well, we do got a good day of football going on with us, guys. So, I mean, let's hang out. Let's watch some football, and let's just enjoy. Let's enjoy.
Hey,
Hopefully everybody's Thanksgiving was good. Go ahead.
I'll be
was.
watching that Broncos game closely. I'm interested to see what the hell happens with that.
Guy's going to throw for 400 yards and 5 tutties.
So you would take the under 37?
I wouldn't touch that game with your money.
I would.
What game? The Bronco game?
Yeah.
It's 37?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Broncos implied team total is 10.25, 10 and a quarter.
Bro, that's 37. That's hard not to get to in the NFL.
Oh, what team doesn't have a quarterback?
The Bears?
Oh, all right, 2 teams.
Bears. No, it's gonna be funny, man. Like it's gonna be weird. Like I've been all week on the Twitter machine. Everybody's been sitting there like, Mitch is back, baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't.
It's like, oh my god. And then like these guys are like, Mitch is back, playoff bound. I'm like, no.
Stop
you,
it.
You guys would be 4-6 right now if it's Trubisky didn't get benched in that Falcons game.
I think we'd be 3-7.
I think we'd be
5 now.
I wish we'd be 1 in fucking 11. 1 in 10.
Yeah. Go out and get that big offensive tackle from Oregon.
No.
Nah, if you're on top,
You got the number 1
pick
pick. You're taking quarterback.
You ain't gonna get the number 1 pick. The Jets ain't gonna fucking.
I know now you're not, but if they were 1 in 10, that would have been nice.
You know, but to bring back on that conversation with Eric, man, I mean, I don't even know what the fuck to do if the Bears do get the middle of the road pick. Do you, Angelo, do you take a risk on grabbing Kyle Trask if he falls to you? Do you take a quarterback?
The Bears aren't in position to take risks right now. They need to take somebody that can come in and make a difference, a factual difference. They need a guy, a lineman that can come in, you plop his fat ass in the middle in that line and let him be on your team for 10 years.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. What about you, Ty?
I think you guys trade down and try and stockpile a couple more picks.
Ugh.
I like that idea.
Like a team with the Dolphins that has like fucking 6 first-round picks over the next 2 years.
I just
Take
want
one
to
of their
see them
later
get a
picks.
fucking lock. It's
And
I mean, I
that's
just
what
want.
the Bears failed to do is like the Dolphins realized, hey, we're in a spot right now where we're not doing well. We're just spinning our wheels. They traded guys that
They traded
normally
everybody.
right. But what did that lead to? That led to a stockpile in drafts. Now, what they can do is if they like somebody, they have currency to be able to move
Go
up
out and get him.
Right. The Bears don't have that luxury. The Bears need to start looking to trade. They have such an abundance of talent on the defense. That's where you're going to get your most assets back for in the draft. But I don't want to talk about the Bears because they're going to.
Well, you know, because I mean that's what people come to watch us for, though, too, man. I mean, we got to talk Bears. I mean, as much as we don't want to fucking, God damn it, Megan's buying this thing that looks like a dildo gun.
Well, that's good for you, right?
Well, not for me, for her maybe. Look at this thing.
So,
it looks like an anal bead. It looks like an anal bead on a drill.
I saw something. Oh man,
I don't see it at all.
I'm trying to find it
yeah,
now on Twitter.
What? It's a muscle massager, isn't it?
Oh, what
I think it's an anal bead on a drill.
Yeah,
well, it
maybe.
says massager on there.
Yeah, anal massager.
Yeah. I can't find it on Twitter right now, but I saw something earlier this week. It was breaking down all the team's salary cap implications after this year, all the money based on future contracts and all that. and it was saying that the Bears are in the worst situation in the NFL because they do not have much cap space. And every team that does not have a lot of cap space, they all have the quarterback situation figured out. That is the one thing that the Bears don't have figured out. They got most of the other shit figured out besides the line and quarterback, but they don't have a quarterback and they don't have much money to spend at all.
I read that the Bears could potentially be over the cap going into next year to where a shit ton of people, like big contracts that they have to just look to get rid of. So on that note, boys,
and, it's not to venture off the Bears, but it kind of reminds you almost of what the Cubs had to go through here since 2016, where they're in like a cap hell where they can't do nothing. And there's a big fucking difference between the Cubs and the Bears. They've won a fucking championship and we're in the playoffs for 4 years in a row.
Yep.
All right. There's a big difference there. So the Bears, I mean, listen, I said it before and I'll say it again. And I'm on the record of saying it. The Bears are at minimum probably 4 years away from figuring this out.
Oh man, yeah, you're right.
All right, and I said it last year. I said there's a 5-year window here where the Bears have to figure it out. After looking at that O-line last year and them going 8-8, all right, and then their defense is good enough to win you 7 to 8 games, man. But what good is that 7 to 8 games going to do if it keeps on putting you in a spot where you can't get anything to better your team in the draft?
My poor kid's going to be 11 before the Bears are competing.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrible.
I'm going to be 30. I'm going to be fucking 40 years old before the Bears are competing. Like, that's legit.
That's terrible.
And I don't want to see that, man, because you have a fucking Super Bowl caliber defense.
Yeah.
Tyler, how would you feel to plug in if you were able to take the fucking Bears defense on your team, would you?
Yeah, that'd make
the Packers would go undefeated.
Yeah.
If they had the Bears defense, they would never lose a game.
The Bears by themselves, that defense wins them 6 games a year.
Right.
Just defensively.
I mean, you could have a fucking shit show like you had last week. All right, where the Packers lost that game to the fucking Colts. There is no way the Colts are scoring 34 points against the Bears. It already happened.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Could I go on a little rant about that fucking Packers game last week?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go right ahead.
All right. So we don't bring in a single fucking weapon for Aaron Rodgers because we're content with fucking Marquez Valdez fucking Scantling. So we don't want fucking T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, Will Fuller, AJ Green, any of those fucking guys because we got Marquez Valdez fucking Scantling. And look what happens. That fucking dude
fumble.
Unreal, dude. It makes no sense. The best fucking wide receiver class of all time. You don't take a single guy because you're content with Marquez Valdez Scantling.
And then they had the chance to go out and get Fuller from the Texans, and he had a good game.
We don't want to give a third round or second round pickup. We'll give you a third. We're planning on using our second round pick next year on another fucking tight end fullback hybrid. Fucking ridiculous,
tight back?
man.
Tight back.
Yeah. Fucking ridiculous.
You're gonna get a full end, man. A full end tight back.
Dude, man.
One thing about living up here is Packer fans, they bitch about everything for no reason.
Oh, dude, I was so angry.
So the fucking Bears fans.
Yeah, but the Bears suck. That's the difference. The Packers have Aaron Rodgers. You can't bitch when you only lost 3 games.
Dude.
The bitching is more of we have one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time, and you have one Super Bowl to show for it. That is the problem. They are content with just making the playoffs and not surrounding him with the weapons he needs to push you to the next fucking level. You're 1 game away from the Super Bowl last year, and you don't address any fucking needs you have. You're looking towards the future 4 years down the line. That is the issue Packers fans have is
I tell you what, too. In the draft class of quarterbacks coming up, too. The in the draft aspect of things, looking at last year, looking up to this upcoming draft, I think every college quarterback coming out this year is better than Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Well, the difference between
And I think
Aaron
even
Rodgers-
who's that little shithead at the Bears like from Brigham Young?
BYU,
Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Wilson. I think that dude's a fucking buster. He hasn't played anybody.
well, the big three quarterbacks this year too are fucking awesome with Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance, and Justin Fields.
Yeah.
The big three QBs are fucking.
I like Mac Jones, but I don't trust Alabama quarterbacks. I've said that before too. But I really like this Kyle Trask kid. I do like that kid a ton. But I hope the Bears, if they do fuck up, I hope the Bears, if they do fuck up, they go out and grab Kyle Trask and then just let him sit, let fucking Foles ride it out, let that kid learn underneath a new head coach after you fire Nagy and get some weapons. But I really like that Kyle Trask kid. I think that kid, he has all the potential to be the next Big Ben.
Angelo, you compare the Jordan Love pick to the Aaron Rodgers pick.
No, I said that it was like when the Packers didn't surround Favre with a lot of weapons toward the end of his
They did the same thing with him too. You're content with just one Super. Right. How the hell do you have 30 years of Brett Favre and then Aaron Rodgers, and you only have 2 Super Bowls to show for it, man?
Right.
It's like, come on, fucking Brady by himself has what was he at? Fucking 4?
Yeah.
Brady has 6.
Brady has 6.
6. Okay, yeah, 6. But no, like seriously, he's fucking won 6 by himself, and you have 30 years of 2 top 10 quarterbacks of all time, and you only have 2 fucking Super Bowls to show for.
I guess it doesn't make me feel that bad being a Bears fan because we should. Yeah, but listen, the Packers only have 1 more Super Bowl in that time period than the Bears, and they had 2 of the best quarterbacks in the NFL ever. The Bears have had more fucking quarterbacks in a year than there are teams in the NFL. I'm just kidding. That's exaggeration, but. You know, hey, I guess there's a silver lining for everything. But I'm ready to go.
I could have got behind the Jordan Love pick if they addressed the needs in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. But no, they didn't address the needs. They still continued to fucking build for the future. It made absolutely no sense. And now it is finally coming to bite them in the ass after fucking MVS blows the game last week.
And I'm not trying to go back to this, but I heard this on the radio the other day, and I was like, what? That can't be true. All right, that can't be true. I know we've all bitched and moaned, well, us Bears fans anyways, that you passed up on Mahomes, you passed up on Watson, right? Did you know Patrick Mahomes' worst loss in his career through 4 years, all right, has been only by 8 points?
Oh, my God, I wish.
That's his worst loss. His worst loss. Patrick Mahomes so far in his career through, 41 games? Okay, he's 33-8, a 66.4 completion percentage, 103 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. And his yards, he already has 12,000 yards passing.
I don't think he thrives as well as he does.
No, and I get it. I understand too. If he's in Chicago, he's going to be part of the turf, just like Trubisky and Foles are. You know what I mean? But I mean, just
him landing with Andy Reid was a fucking lottery ticket for him. Andy Reid brought out the best in him. He could scheme around Mahomes' strengths and everything. And now he cashed in on a $500 million fucking contract. With the Bears, man, I mean, I think he's a mediocre QB, but I mean, nothing better than that.
It just makes me sick. I'm gonna sit there and, as a Bear fan too. It's gonna be that thing where the entire career that guy has, you're gonna sit there and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because at the pace he's on, barring injury, knock on wood that he does not get hurt. Because he is hands down the most exciting player in football to watch.
So the thing about him is he knows how to avoid that big injury.
Yeah, and that's who said it the other day. It's like when he's well liked too. He's not Matt Hasselbeck, where everybody just wanted to fucking punch that guy's face into the back of his skull.
But that's the difference, is because he knows how good he is. He doesn't have to be an asshole because he knows nobody's going to challenge him for his position ever.
Yeah, he's unreal, man. And I don't think we're ever going to have. I mean, think of the great quarterbacks that are in the league. Tom Brady, 6 Super Bowls, all these yards, touchdown. Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you could put Philip Rivers into that category, though he's never won a Super Bowl. Still a very, very, very good quarterback. All right, if those 3 guys aren't in the league, Philip Rivers is one of the best quarterbacks in football. Even with those guys in the league, he was still one of the best quarterbacks in football. All right, but now you got this kid Patrick Mahomes coming out of fucking nowhere. I mean, literally, Texas A&M killing it down there, comes into the draft, gets drafted by the Chiefs, and we are witnessing, barring any injury, he's going to be the greatest football player that's ever touched a fucking field.
Yeah.
Ever. It's amazing.
It's kind of like the Greg Oden, Kevin Durant situation where Greg Oden got taken number 1 and it was a complete bust, and Kevin Durant number 2, and he's the top 10 basketball player of all time.
I think it's more like the Michael Jordan draft situation.
Yeah, that's another one too.
I mean, Kevin Durant's not the greatest player of all time.
Yeah,
Michael Jordan is. And it's like that's what you're witnessing here. You're witnessing greatness, and it's one of those things that Bears fans are forever going to have to live with, and just be like, Gah! And not want to eat a bullet.
Hey, on Waddle and Sylvie earlier this week, I'll ask you guys, since I couldn't really chime in because I'm a Packers fan. They had a would you rather this week. It was would you give up 2 of Michael Jordan's NBA championships to go redo the 2017 football draft?
Yes, absolutely. I'll take 4. I'll take 4 Jordan titles and Patrick Mahomes on my team any day. What's the worst that happens? We only have 4 titles instead of 6. Ooh.
Well,
So,
I don't know if I would do that.
Then you got the LeBron truthers that'll come out. LeBron's the GOAT. LeBron's the GOAT.
I don't care. Chicago is a Bears city, period.
It is now.
Dude, if the Bears had Patrick Mahomes on this
The Bears were the city until Jordan came here.
Okay.
When Jordan came here in 84.
He was back.
Huh?
The Bears are still up there now. Jordan was here for a little bit. If Patrick Mahomes
was here for fucking 20 years.
If Patrick Mahomes came to this Bears team and produced a Super Bowl, this team would. You think the '85 Bears live in infamy? If they ride that fucking train till 2046, whenever they win the next one.
Who do you think the bigger name is, LeBron James or Patrick Mahomes?
Well, that's easy. It's LeBron James because LeBron James is more established.
You think so?
Yes, 100%.
Well, it goes more than just sports. It's just all the humanitarian stuff LeBron James does too. I'm not saying.
Well, basketball is worldwide though too.
Right, and it's
can't get
market
to that
yourself in the NBA than it is in the NFL.
Who do you think's more popular with like the kids? Like we're not kids no more. We're old.
LeBron James to the new generation is what Michael Jordan was to your generation. I'm kind of in the middle of that, but
and you think Mike Bibby's the greatest player of all time?
No. So more comparable for me would be Kobe was my Michael Jordan.
Yeah, Kobe. Yeah, I liked Kobe. I loved Kobe. Kobe was awesome.
But the kids now, their Michael Jordan is LeBron James. He's the Michael Jordan of this generation.
You know what's weird though, man? It's like I'm at that age. I'm going to be 33 in a couple months. Right? Yeah, I'm going to be 33 in a couple months. And I've never seen a talent like Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Well, nobody has. He's a fucking freak, man.
I've never seen that talent.
Freak.
And I thought, I loved Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was awesome. I loved Brett Favre. I loved Tom Brady. I love Drew Brees.
Yeah, but the quarterback position was so different when those guys were playing. It wasn't about the athleticism. It was about the brain. Being able to dissect the defenses instead of being able to beat the defenses.
Do you think Patrick Mahomes has more rings when it's all said and done than Tom Brady?
No.
I mean that's hard to predict there because a dynasty is a once in a generational thing. I mean, even with how good he is, it's hard to predict the Chiefs becoming a dynasty. with how hard it is to accomplish. We've only seen a couple of those.
I don't think anybody's
got the
touching
Bulls-
KC this year.
The Bulls and
but-
Bulls and the
go-
Patriots are the only, and somewhat Warriors are the only dynasties we've seen.
It's just hard to hold that standard of
I don't know. Lakers were pretty fucking good.
they were good, yeah, but
No,
here's
that wasn't a dynasty. Though.
football. It's
Or,
so
I mean-
different because it could take one injury 1 year, okay, from any different player, not just Patrick Mahomes, but it could be, 2 or 3 guys on the offensive side of the ball get hurt, and that's it. Patrick Mahomes can only do so much. You know what I mean? That's why basketball is different because it's such a one-person sport that
Yeah.
as long as LeBron is healthy, that Lakers team is always going to be favored to win a title. Period.
I mean, you remember his first year in LA? They didn't make the playoffs.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but
but then
that's
they got Anthony Davis.
right.
Yeah,
That's the difference. Is in the NBA, you could be like, "Hey, I want you to come play for me." That
Yeah,
guy will be like, "No,
team
I don't
up.
want to play in this town anymore," and they ship him right to that other guy. It's like Amazon.
Team up.
Fucking buy something on Amazon, it's there the next day.
The hardest sport to be a dynasty in is baseball, in my opinion.
I think it'd be football.
I think the hardest sport to dynasty in is baseball.
I don't know because baseball, there's no fucking cap.
There hasn't been a dynasty in baseball since the late New York Yankees.
Yeah, I don't know, but
They
we're a
won in
football
like
show.
95, 90. They won in 96, 97. Didn't they win 3 in a row?
You're a football show. This is talking
I mean-
football.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
up and through the early 2000s, the Yankees were still pretty much a dynasty.
Yeah, they were a
A-Rod
dynasty.
and Jeter, yeah.
The Blackhawks won in 3 and 5. I mean, is that dynasty? Kings win in 3
it
and
was.
6.
Yeah, the Blackhawks were a dynasty.
What about the Kings in 6? 3 and 6. Los Angeles Kings.
I wouldn't say no. I would say no.
What,
You have to
didn't-
win. You have to win more
didn't the
titles
Giants-
in years.
Didn't the
San
Giants
Francisco
win
Giants.
3? They won 3 and 5, right?
Yeah,
They
San
won.
Francisco Giants.
They won
That's a dynasty.
alternate years, yeah.
Yeah.
But you look at a dynasty, I think, as a team that wins a lot.
Bears were a fucking dynasty.
You,
Yeah.
you look at a team that wins a lot, but then also sustains some kind of success even when they're not winning titles. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
the
Steelers.
Patriots. Like the Patriots, even when they weren't winning the Super Bowl, they were always competitive. Like the Blackhawks, when they weren't winning the title, they were still in the playoffs, made it far into the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like the Kings, I don't remember them being good every year. I remember them being good every couple of years.
Oh, those Kings
You know?
teams were fucking good. Jonathan Quick, Dustin fucking
Johnny Quick,
Dustin Brown.
All right. Can we end the show?
Yeah, I got to poop.
Yeah,
All
yeah. I
right.
gotta get my DFS lineups in.
All right, guys. Well, that was good. It was a good show. Thanks
Yeah.
to Eric. Thanks to Firehouse Erik Lambert over at Sports Mockery. Thanks to Firehouse Subs for letting me say their name and getting food out. And then, thanks for everybody who joined us today, and we appreciate it. So that's Week 12 talking football. Enjoy the games, Angelo, Tyler. I'll see you guys next week. Okay.
Make love,
Go
not
Pack,
war.
go!
Peace.
Go Pack, go! Go Pack, go!
Boo.